Hi everyone, I'm Ali GREYMOND. Today I wanted to talk to you about medication. Can you recover from OCD just by taking medication? I'm an OCD recovery coach. I've suffered with OCD, with severe OCD, and recovered from severe OCD, fully recovered over 10 years ago. For the last 10 plus years, I've been helping people recover from OCD, and I've seen people all over the world. I work pretty much every day, full work days. So probably into the thousands now. I haven't counted, but you can imagine. And different countries have different approaches, different medications. What I see with clients generally is I would say 50%, about 50% are on medication, 50% are not. Let's talk about the ones that are on medication. What I see is with SSRIs or antidepressants, as we call them, usually the effect is probably the reduction in OCD symptoms is probably, um, I'd say, maybe 20% at best. 20, yeah, yeah. I mean, anything over 20% is rare. So I can't, if one person told me they have 30%, I can't count that as the top. But I would say it's 20% at best, but most people see very little to no improvement. And I've seen people discontinue medication while going through recovery because they just felt like it wasn't really doing anything. And when they stopped, there was no difference. I've seen that a lot. So I can tell you that really medication is not the way to get out of OCD. If you're thinking about taking medication and you're thinking, oh, will it take my thoughts away? It will not take your thoughts away. It just doesn't work that much for you to not get thoughts. The intensity of the thoughts might decrease a little bit, but there's also side effects to that. um, Person is kind of tired all the time, sleepy, feel that numbness feeling, which already is present when you just have OCD, but it increases if you're taking medication. So there is definitely side effects. In my non-medical 10 years plus experience coach opinion, who should be taking medication? Again, in my personal opinion, medication is a good tool if the person absolutely cannot push through. So, for example, like they're trying to do exposure work, they're even like the tiniest steps, they feel like they can't do it. It's just too hard. It's just too scary. I can't do any exposure whatsoever. In that case, my logic is that 10%, let's say, of medication might be just the push they need, that just the reduction they need to push through. So in that case, as a temporary measure, it might help push you into doing more recovery work. But to say that, oh, you should always be, doctors always use the term, this sentence of, well, people take medication for diabetes for life. You should take medication for OCD for life. What does diabetes have to do with OCD? We will never know. But this line is, I think they teach them this line because doctors tend to use this line across continents. um, it is what it is. But in terms of the can it help reduce, again, I'd say expect about 10%. And if you feel like that this is the amount that can actually help you push into the next level, you can do that. In terms of the side effects of antidepressants, generally speaking, being coming from a position of somebody, and I've been on antidepressants for a period of time when I had OCD as well. Again, my results were the same as what I'm telling you with other people. 10%, maybe something like that. Um, and I was at the top of the dose, by the way. So I wasn't taking a small dose, and that's why it wasn't having any effect. I was at the top dose. I was literally at the ceiling of the antidepressant. So I can tell you just from that. When you come off of it, what I saw basically in my story, you should probably already see it in my other videos, but my story was that I started to do ERP. I understood that ERP was helping me a lot more than medication. When I started to really understand how OCD works, how ERP works, I found that I didn't need to rely on medication so much, and the results I was getting from ERP was way more than from medication, and I kind of just dropped it as I started to get more confidence in myself and the recovery. I basically just stopped it. Now, when I stopped it, there was side effects, um, but I was on a type of medication that had a lot of SSRI, but it just came with a lot of side effects. The half life of it was very short, so you could feel it in the later part of the day, or if you missed a dose, or it wasn't a good type of medication. But anyways, with SSRIs, what do I see? The effect as it relates to OCD is pretty much the same, not much difference between brands. The side effects vary greatly. So Google that. Google the side effects for a specific medication should you decide to take it, because some of them have little to no side effects. Again, from what clients are telling me, some have horrific side effects. And I've had clients who were on the same medication as me, and the side effects were exactly the same as mine. But in terms of long term side effects, once you go through that period of the getting it out of your system, which for me took a few months, by the way, um, the symptoms kind of stop. So it's the always feeling queasy, having brain zaps, feeling disoriented, those kinds of side effects. So it takes a few. Again, I was at the highest dose, so it took a few months for me to come off of that. Um, but it after that, it didn't seem to have any long-term damage. And again, this is the same thing I see with clients, that if you take SSRI and then stop taking it, there doesn't seem to be anything long-term, which is very different from antipsychotic. If the doctors tell you or suggest you to take antipsychotic, um, please just Google the side effects, because sometimes people, they'll say that things such as oh, they're so, like, I've never seen a side effect from this antipsychotic, this never happens. Well, I had quite a few clients for whom it did happen, and you have to be educated with the side effects, what they are, how bad can it get. And I've done a separate video on antipsychotics. You might want to view that one as well. But I absolutely, again, in my coaching opinion, do not recommend antipsychotics. It doesn't work well for OCD. They say they kind of make it seem that this is the next level. Antidepressant is a lower level, and antipsychotic is a high. Like, it's not really like that, but sometimes doctors can make it seem that way, and it just makes you tired and sleepy. That's pretty much the effect that it has on you. I've had many clients who I was working with, who were on antipsychotic medication. They're still getting thoughts. They still have trouble doing ERP. It's still very, very difficult. So it's not going to take your thoughts away. You need to do ERP to recover. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that I'll probably do it in the next video, but how medication relates to doing ERP. But I will do a separate video on that one, because it's already getting to be a little long, and probably half the people already closed the browser or whatever, the player. Okay, sounds good. I will see you tomorrow with another video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you would like to do one-on-one recovery program with me, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. I'll see you tomorrow.